"Oh man, I'm getting too old for this," said Goku never, and here's why. Hey guys, Masako X here. It's becoming quite clear that there are certain things in Dragon Ball that can't, won't, and shan't go away for various reasons. Some of these reasons are, okay, they're quite valid, and some of these reasons are not, but one reason is very clear, and I think it's something that we all really shouldn't be surprised about. Fear. The fear of the unknown. The fear of the thing not tested to the nth degree in focus groups and marketing meetings, and the fear of something not being profitable. Today, we wish to look at why Dragon Ball, despite being really successful and known throughout the world to people who don't necessarily know much about anime itself, is afraid of its own shadow, and why, if you are hoping for the next generation to step up and take over anytime soon, you really shouldn't hold your breath. Where are we going with all of this? Well, our first stop is not with Dragon Ball Z, the most ubiquitous of the series that fall under the DB umbrella. Instead, we're looking to the very misguided and very confused Dragon Ball GT. That time where Toriyama took the training wheels off of the project and, well, the product fell to the floor 3 episodes in. Over time, both myself and Havelock have sort of changed our tune regarding this series. Now, okay, we're not saying that it was a triumph or a tour de force or anything like that, it's not. Well, I mean, I kind of was with the music and the animation department somewhat, but it was no means a dumpster fire either. I mean, entirely. We like to give Dragon Ball a lot of praise and a lot of sass for what it did to the overall product of the franchise. Right or wrong, it did something. It wasn't boring. Now, of course, we aren't just going to go and say this and not show our workings out. The things that we praise the most in GT, I mean, aside from the music and the animation like I said before, are the very valiant attempts of trying to reinvent the story and breathe new life to the overall concept, as well as endeavouring to try and make the characters face the consequences of their past actions. Like, these things actually carry serious penalties or risks. This all provided some genuinely fascinating potential, which made the overall world feel like it had some sense of, you know, what goes around comes around. As we all know, it didn't work out the way we hoped, but points for trying. Now, obviously, the less good things are sadly connected to the overall presentation. It was clear that this overall idea for GT wasn't thought through as much as the people over at Toei had planned. Even though Toriyama had provided some very basic notes and sketches to go off of before bouncing off into semi-retirement in 1996, but even with GT's particular choices in changing the characters' looks, personalities, and significance to the narrative, the creators of this very bold series did not dare to explore one thing. This isn't actually that surprising, because this is something that not even Toriyama himself is able to do, much to the chagrin of many fans. Toei, like the creator of the very show, do not want to retire Goku as a protagonist. Now already, I get the feeling that I know what you guys are thinking. Masako, you can't just get rid of Goku from the show. Dragon Ball equals Goku. You cannot tell stories without him in there somewhere. Well, to be quite honest, it is entirely possible to tell a good story without him. Take, for example, the Bardock special. Yes, he's a baby, but he doesn't play any impact. History of Trunks, and a large portion of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Granted, these stories aren't mainline stories, but they are cherished by the fandom, meaning that they do adhere to the same traits of Dragon Ball which keeps fans happy, and it's something the fans feel best represents the overall widget. Therefore, you can take Goku out of the picture, or at least not have him be the driving force of the narrative, and still get results. Good results, if not great results. At the beginning, Toriyama has said this in the past, Goku was a blank canvas, he didn't really have much of a personality. What made the series stand out at the beginning was how characters reacted around Goku, around his presence, and how they bounced off of him and the others. Dragon Ball has a lot of underutilized characters, and a great potential for continuation in various guises from various perspectives. There is no dearth of narrative potential here to be had, with characters which fans respect, adore, or even tolerate. But it seems like Goku, and to a lesser extent Vegeta, are preventing some of these storylines from coming to fruition, from blooming into something more than just a pipe dream, or even just a simple subplot every now and again. And I think we all know why that is. Marketing! It's been too long since I last said that. Now, this isn't us two just sitting from our YouTube channel on high and saying that this is the way it is or anything. Take a look at possibly your shelves and recall the times you've been around an anime convention. What do you see and what do you remember? Tons and tons of Dragon Ball merch featuring Goku and Vegeta. The vast majority of content produced in terms of collectibles feature Goku in some way. Even if it's just something you put on your shelf, not of Goku, Goku most likely is on the packaging. I mean, take a look at my figure display right here. I mean, okay, there's a Dragon Ball R&R thing and a Saiyakon in there, cheeky plug, but nearly all of it is Goku. I mean, some other figures are there too, but Goku's making up the majority of the numbers. I'm part of the problem. Looking at the insane amount of merchandise connected to Goku and Vegeta, you can begin to sort of understand why Toei might be reluctant to take the next step and retire these two strongest Saiyans in the show. In their mind, they are forced to keep these two cash cows around because they bring home the bacon in terms of merchandising sales. It's the pragmatic reason why they're unwilling to allow them to pass the torch to their offspring, or at least not for very long, but that's not the case though. In media, it's entirely possible to move on narratively and yet still keep making money. You don't really need to keep your characters relevant in the story for them to still be popular. It's not like the moment Goku and Vegeta retire, and you don't see them in almost every episode, that will suddenly go, who are they again? I mean, it's not like Darth Vader stopped being popular after his passing in Return of the Jedi in 1983. His visage is on everything. Goku and Vegeta have become so iconic that they are really no different to Darth Vader. You can omit them from the main story and still have them bringing in the money, whilst also reviving the story to a new generation. But how do you do it right? How do you retire these characters in the modern era of Dragon Ball? We're of course aware that we probably won't see that happen till at least maybe, I don't know, 2040, when I most probably will retire. So it will be sort of relatable in a way. I think this is a call for a bit of what-if-ery talk, but from an official source this time. So first of all, this isn't going to be something crafted entirely in the ether of our minds and pure conjecture. Toriyama actually, sort of, has an ending already for Goku and Vegeta in mind. According to the Dragon Ball Online timeline, something that I talked about in a video I made a couple of years back, which you should probably look into fully, Goku and Vegeta's retirement is only 20 in-world years away. In age 801, Goku suddenly goes missing, and this isn't him taking on a new pupil or anything. This time, this is him literally just leaving and never returning. He is realizing that his end is imminent, and he is keen to tie up loose ends before going to the other world for good. Now, before you say he could use the Dragon Balls to make him young again, we're trying to up the stakes here, not make them even lower. And besides, I don't think Goku would want to do that. There's no honor in it. And wanting to settle their rivalry, Goku leaves the Earth with Vegeta for a final battle out in space. Years later, a supernova explosion is detected, and that is assumed to be from Goku and Vegeta's final battle. It's a rather fitting send-off for two of the universe's strongest warriors. It's really fitting. Like I said, this is only 20 years after the Moro arc ends. That's not that far away. We're closer to that happening than the start of Dragon Ball itself in age 750. And although we like to use Dragon Ball Online as a possible future reference, it's really more like a guideline, not an actual set-in-stone story. Toriyama wrote this as supplementary material for a very niche online game, so things can change, but then again, they might not. Toa and Mira were created in that game's lore, and they were almost lifted wholesale from it. So maybe Toriyama could be like, oh cool, I already wrote this a decade ago. Yoink. But we don't need to wait for these two to naturally pass to get the next generation front and center. In fact, we already have a chance to pass the torch. It's just Toriyama failed to do that with Gohan, which he wholeheartedly admits to, but we've got a whole new generation of possible new protagonists to work with, who are only just getting started. They are right there in front of us. Goten, Trunks, Marin, 17's children, if indeed they exist, and even Oob feel like a pretty solid setup for a new story. Some people also like to suggest that the brand new Broly could be also fitting for the new generation, but I think they forget the fact that Broly is 43 right now at the time of the movie, roughly the same age as Goku. And since he's had a lot more turmoil in terms of his genetics and upbringing, he might pass even faster than the two main Saiyans, so he's out. We have the whole new generation of characters, but they still remain underutilized. We've been discussing this chestnut many times in the past. This is one of our biggest bugbears of the show. The troublesome fact of aging of Trunks and Goten doesn't really happen, it really grinds our gears. But it also extends to Marin. She is supposed to be 9 years old in Super, and she still looks like a toddler. Like, she hasn't aged a day since the Boo saga. I mean, excuse me, what? Also, if you think that Marin would be a weak lead, then think again. Android 18 herself has hinted in Super that this little girl might be tougher than she looks. Despite the nature of her mother's powers being mechanical mostly from upgrades, we aren't sure what she really inherited, which would be rather interesting to explore for a future story. How strong is Marin really? Maybe we could do something entirely new here. Maybe making little Marin into some kind of technomancer? Like technology and magic combined? That could be really interesting. As for Goten and Trunks, the ongoing theories about why they're not getting aged up is that their younger versions are the most popular ones, and that is why they cannot change. It's all to do with the merchandise, but after researching this video for hours and hours and looking through tons of merchandise, it's really not the case, in fact. It was really hard to find any examples of purely Goten-themed merch. Trunks wasn't much better either, and most of the time you would see anything to do with younger Trunks, he's acting as a prop for Vegeta. But you know who has a lot of merchandise? Future Trunks. I wonder why. Now, Gotenks does pop up. He is popular due to him being a fusion, and also the only other character in the mainline show to have an official Super Saiyan 3 design. But come on, make him older too. You can still sell toys of adult Gotenks, and we're pretty sure those would sell. I remember the internet reacting very favourably to adult Gotenks. Although, okay, it was a Heroes promo, but it's still a good sign. The other option is that, much like with Ash Ketchum, they want to keep them relevant and relatable for younger audiences. Okay, well, like with many sentiments from the Toei camp, this argument also falls apart and becomes moot. Goten and Trunks have little to no role in Super. This is supposed to be a Saturday morning style series to boot. Goten and Trunks should thrive. They don't have their own segments. Well, okay, they did a little bit at the beginning for the first third of the series, but after really the Potofu arc, which wasn't really that good, and even after the Goku Black arc, they didn't really have the chance to do anything. It was all about the grown-ups. Also, while popularity polls from the 90s have shown that Goten, Trunks, and even Gotenks were pretty popular, the most recent unofficial top 10s, both Japanese and Western, do not list Goten and Trunks at all. I think it's time to change them up a bit, guys. You need to get them back into said top 10s. And listen, we know that the aged up present Trunks and Goten from GT weren't anyone's cup of tea, especially Goten. The ones from the end of Z were pretty well liked. You have those characters written and ready to take over at a moment's notice, and they are different enough from the younger versions to warrant a change. In fact, they're almost the opposite. So okay, we have possible replacements, but what to do with Goku and Sheets? Well, as I mentioned before, you don't need to straight up get rid of them just yet, as they may serve a mentorship role for the younger generation. You can instead send the two Saiyans to another universe where they will be stuck for some time, or send their offspring to said universe to give them a challenge, which would take away the card of Goku and Vegeta to be able to chime in at a moment's notice and just solve everything. Not only that, but the first option could also help Gohan to take up the mentorship role himself. Even the rest of the Dragon team would benefit from that, as they could teach the younger ones some of their old tricks. That way, their legacy could live on. And if that doesn't work out, well, you can always have the B storyline with Goku and Vegeta. I mean, I guess. And look, I know that it's hard to imagine Dragon Ball without Goku, but the truth is that someday this might happen. We can of course take a leaf from GT's book and simply end the series with Goku's departure, but I think it's unfair to say that success of Dragon Ball lays only on the shoulders of Goku. So what do you guys think? Do you envisage Goku and Vegeta actually stepping back and allowing other characters to take over? Would the show fall apart without them? Leave a comment below and let's get the discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!